What if one platform covered everything from idea to market-ready product? A platform teaching all the AI tech and practices needed for successful AI-driven startups.
This is like AI imagination.
We found that the more specific we are.
We used a classifier, we trained the classifier.
I really wanted it to just be more open-ended for the user.
We were experimenting with different chunk sizes.
Having some problems to something.
By blending cutting-edge technologies from industry giants, you can create revolutionary AI products that drive innovation forward.
This was a special hack, it was a battle.
Let the hacking begin.
Hey everyone! Welcome to the official kickoff of the Edge Runners 3.2 Hackathon. It's so awesome to have you all here today as we kickstart an epic 2-day challenge that will have you pushing the boundaries of AI with the full Llama model spectrum. So, are you ready for this? Let's do that. It's October the 18th and the adventure begins now. Firstly, time for quick intros. My name is Joanna, and I will be your host for today alongside the amazing Justina, who you can call Jay. We're here to guide you through the event schedule, talk about the challenge, break down the judging criteria, and take you on a platform walkthrough. But first, let's say a huge hello to our LabLab community in the chat. Drop a 1 if you're joining a LabLab Hackathon for the first time, and a 2 if you're a seasoned pro. Either way, we're thrilled to have you here. Remember, the chat is your space, so stay active, drop your questions, and we'll be keeping an eye on it. All right, let's dive into the event schedule for this hackathon. As you can see, we've got a packed and exciting couple of days lined up. We kick off with some amazing talks from industry experts, and of course, the much-anticipated challenge details. Workshops and Q&A sessions are here to help you along the way, so do not miss out. Firstly, we'll hear the opening words from the amazing people without whom this hackathon couldn't have happened. And speaking of amazing talks, we've lined up some incredible guests for you today. First up, we'll hear from Simon Olson, co-founder of New Native, who'll tell us about LabLab AI. Then, Jonathan Rundberg, our AI automation lead, will introduce you to the LabLab Next Accelerator program, an awesome opportunity for builders like you to level up. And it doesn't stop here. We've got Sergey Nushny, Head of Developer Relations at AIML API, here to share how their tools can supercharge your hackathon experience. And last but definitely not least, Emmanuel Iriarte, our brilliant AI architect, will host an exclusive Llama 3.2 workshop to help you hit the ground running. So stick around, folks. This is going to be awesome. Firstly, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to our first guest, Simon Olson, co-founder of New Native. Simon, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Okay, great to see. We have a lot of enrollments. It's exciting. I think we have like 1,000 people enrolled in this. Runner kind of came about a couple of months back when we realized there's a lot of interesting builders in our community that wanted to pursue building not only a prototype in our events and compete for the in hackathons, but then also to push it forward towards the sort of next phase of building a product, which is taking it towards an MVP. I think also what we've been doing now for a while is to pick those cool projects up and put them into our programs that facilitates that transition. But let's backtrack a little bit. So, what is LabLab all about? Well, for us, me and Pavel, we founded LabLab a couple of years back now, with the sole intention to help more people get into the AI space, make it easy, make it accessible, make it available to people. And we've been very fortunate to work with great partners, such as the AIML API, and such as a long list of other partners as well, over the course of these 2 years. And I think we've seen quite a lot of ingenuity in our ecosystem, a lot of cool people trying out things, to the point where it actually inspires part of our team to sit down and participate in the events as well. And that's something that really excites me. Something that's super fun, I think, to sort of see. And I think it also is a testament to sort of journey that we're on with LabLab to sort of take the next step, support more builders with new technologies, make sure that it actually is easy and accessible, because it hasn't been, historically. So that's what LabLab is all about, and really sort of homing in on the developer and providing that support in order to not only build a cool prototype in a matter of 48 hours, but then also take it to the next level. So I'm super excited to see that with so many people joining. I'm very keen to see what you're building. It'll be super interesting to see. And I wish everybody who participates good luck. And I hope to be amazed and dazzled by the end of this. So best of luck, and see you soon.
Thank you so much, Simon. These words were really inspiring, and I really think that you've set the stage for our builders. Up next, we've got Jonathan, our AI automation lead from LabLab Next, here to give you a short intro into the Next Accelerator. Nate, over to you.
Hey, thank you, Joanna. I hope everyone who's watching is doing great. I'm just gonna share my presentation here. Yeah, so I'm Nate. I am one of the core members who have built our LabLab Next program. LabLab Next is, you can see it as the next step after the hackathons. It's a digital accelerator program where we take teams that we see potential in, with the solution we see potential in, and we help them to accelerate and come to a MVP stage and go above and beyond. So let's talk a little bit more about what LabLab Next is. First of all, it's a 6-week digital program, and we help you take your prototype to an MVP stage. The program, it's a no equity program. What we do ask is the right to invest on the same terms as your future lead investor. So it's a very founder-friendly agreement that we have. And you might be asking who or why should you join LabLab Next? Multiple reasons. One of the big things is the support we provide. Our team is dedicated to be to your support at all time. We do have teams from all over the world, so we're trying to be agile and be there as much as possible. We also have our huge LabLab AI community with 160,000 community members that will help you to connect with in case you need to, for example, grow your team or similar things like that. Maybe you need beta testers for your product. We also have a great mentorship program. We have seasoned professionals and industry experts at your service, and now we just hit 100 mentors now, I think. Another huge thing is the perks and deals that we get from our partners. So to help you in this early stage where money could be tight, we try to provide you with the different perks and deals you might need to not be halted on the economic side of things. Apply to the program. Just like the LabLab AI community and the hackathons, your solution needs to be based on generative AI. The startup needs to have a prototype. So you cannot just have an idea, you need to actually have a prototype, which we then help you to take to an MVP stage. Something we also push a lot on is the team. So starting a startup, it's not easy, and it's even harder to do it yourself. So we say that you need at least 2 members, but having up to 5 members to help divide and conquer, we see as a very important step. Here you can see some of the partners we have. We are constantly looking for new partners, listening to the participants in our cohorts to see what is missing and trying to provide the value they need. To look at some of the alumni, here we have Mindgraph, who just graduated the cohort that we finished a few weeks ago. Mindgraph actually came from a hackathon, Start Your AI startup a few months ago. And just after the hackathon, they had a few weeks to prepare for the program, and they did fantastic. And we also have Agile Loop, who we actually hosted a hackathon with a few months ago. If you feel like this is something to you, for you, or you might feel that after this hackathon, if you come up with a killer solution, you can always apply at lablab.ai/next. Also, the winner of the hackathon gets the opportunity, or they get fast-tracked through our application process. So the winner after this hackathon will get a mail from us where we ask you to book a meeting with us. I wish everyone great luck in this hackathon, and I'm looking forward to see who will book a meeting with us. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. That was really great. And for those of you hungry for more, do not forget to check out our website to learn all about the next accelerator and how you can get involved. Here you've got some AI startup ideas that I really recommend you to check out. The list offers 200 distinct and untapped ideas, so feel free to scan the QR code and check them out for inspiration. Our next guest is Sergey Nushny, Head of Developer Relations at AIML API, and Sergey will tell you all about the amazing opportunities they've brought to the table for this hackathon. Sergey, it's great to have you here. The floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me good? All right. So I'm here to present our platform to you. We'll be providing free credits throughout the hack. We will also be available as tech support online and in our Discord, so you can connect with us anytime. Let's get a quick rundown of the platform. Just a sec. So there we go. The main idea of our platform is to have all the models you can imagine in one place with one easy subscription. So for example, Suno, OpenAI, Anthropic, anything. But we didn't stop there. We added a lot of open source models like Mistral, Llama, which you will be using today. So I'm going to show you the platform pretty quickly, and then we'll go to the playground to see how you can access the models fast. Yeah. So all the models are available right here. If you navigate here, you can check out basically everything we got. Yeah, we recently have added Flux and Quen, which are pretty cool. But yeah, the vision models are there. If you click any of these models, you will be, redirected to a snippet right here in JavaScript and Python. This will make your life a little bit easier because you will have to access a lot of stuff through API, and that's basically the easy way to do it. After that, some of you need the docs. Here they are, API reference, or the playground. There you go. So let's navigate here. These, I repeat, are not all the models we got. We have many, many more. But if you want to use Llama for synthetic data generation, it is pretty easy to do here. Yeah, you can see that these are pro. They are locked basically until you register. So I'll show you this pretty quickly. You gotta go to billing. Bam. You can pick either startup or custom. We will fill you with $20 worth of tokens, and you will be able to access them within the week. So let's do that. And now you will be able to see the promo code. So the promo for this hackathon is AI ML API $32. You click apply, bam, $0. So you still gotta input your credit card. Some credit cards will not work, around 5%, because our Stripe restrictions are pretty safe. And in that case, I recommend you find a team member who will successfully do that. In our experience, again, 95% can successfully pass all of this. Yep. After the week, we will charge you again if you do not cancel. And within this week, be careful. So here is a thing you have to watch out for. If you navigate to the dashboard, well, this is a new account, yeah, but you gotta be sure that you are not going over $20. If you do, we'll charge you $1 for 2 million tokens. So this can be a thing to watch out for. Other than that, again, in the playground, you can access a lot of stuff. In the list of models, you will be able to pick your model and, yeah, basically send API calls to it. What we will also do is, yeah, let me just come back to the being with a webcam. So what we'll also do is be available 24/7 basically in the chat. We'll give you Google Collabs to help you out. Emmanuel later on will give you some tutorials on how to start. And if you will have any questions or will need any assistance with credits or models, hit me up and yeah, we'll help you. Hope you like it.
Thank you so much, Sergey. And I would really love to use this moment to say a huge shout out to AIML API for providing 500 free access keys to Llama models for this event. So guys, if you need any technical support, feel free to head over to AIML API Discord server. And remember to manage your tokens wisely, as AIML API is a subscription-based service. So if you don't plan to continue after the hackathon, be sure to cancel your subscription to avoid extra charges. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in a chat. And now let's get to the exciting part, which is the Hackathon Challenge. Your mission for the Edge Runners 3.2 Hackathon is to build an edge compute solution using the full Llama model spectrum. And here's the twist. You can use network enhanced features tapping into larger models like Llama 3.1 and 3.2 to run advanced tasks without overloading your edge devices. Or alternatively, optimize your development by using these larger models for tasks like synthetic data generation or labeling, and then fine-tune the smaller models for final deployment. And what's your end goal? It's a powerful edge-ready solution that combines local performance with the might of larger models. And we've also got a side quest challenge for you. We want you to develop AI-powered tools that can revolutionize the telecommunications industry in the undeserved areas. From optimizing administrative processes to improving network operations, you have the chance to create something impactful. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to innovate and help bring connectivity to those who need it the most. Now, let's talk about the important thing, which is how we'll be judging your projects. These are 4 criteria and should help you understand how and where you should focus your efforts on. First thing is the application of technology. We're looking for how well you've used the AI models in your solution. It's not just about using the largest models, but making smart choices. How effectively do your models choose to contribute to solving the problem? We really want to see thoughtful, impactful integration of tech. The second criteria is the business value that your idea brings. You need to ask yourself, does your solution have a real-world impact? Would it be useful to businesses or communities? We're really looking for projects that solve meaningful problems and offer practical value, whether through cost savings, efficiency, or scalability. You really need to think about how your solution makes a difference. The third success criteria is originality. We really value creativity. So you need to ask yourself, how unique is your approach? Are you bringing something fresh and innovative to the table? And originality doesn't just mean something completely new. It can also be a fresh take on an existing problem or a new combination of ideas. And we're really waiting for you to surprise us. And the last success criteria is presentation. So you probably already know that a great idea can be overlooked, and the reason why is when it's not communicated well. We'll really be looking at how clearly and effectively you present. So ask yourself, is your pitch engaging? Does it tell a compelling story? Before you present, make sure to highlight your solution's key strengths and why they really matter. And now let's talk about what's really going to get you fired up, the prizes. We've got some serious rewards lined for the best of the best in this hackathon. And here is what you can win. The first place gets $3,000 in cash, the second place, $1,500 in cash, and the third place, $500 in cash. And this is not all. We've got a couple of exciting extras. The first extra is the side quest prize. You might get a chance to win a trip with transport and accommodation to our upcoming Giga Hackathons in either Barcelona or Geneva in partnership with UNICEF. At the end of this live stream, we'll tell you more about these hackathons, but this is what you can know for now. So this is the prize that might be distributed to the team that really makes a huge impression on the judges. So we're really curious what you will come up with. And this is your chance to take your hackathon journey to the next level. And the second side quest is the acceleration opportunity mentioned earlier. So the fast track to the Lab Next acceleration program, where you get the chance to scale your project even further. So get ready to compete and bring your A game. These prizes are really worth fighting for. Just before we jump into the next part of the event, let's talk about how we can help you succeed. At LabLab, we believe in giving you all the tools and resources you need to create something truly amazing. And that's why we've curated a special list of tutorials and guides to help you along the way. So whether you're new to using the Llama models or you just want to sharpen your skills, these tutorials are packed with valuable insights, tips, and the best practices to get you on the right track. We highly recommend you visit lablab.ai/t to check out all the tutorials we've prepared for you. Make sure to use these resources to enhance your projects, boost your creativity, and maybe even spark that really aha moment that could take you to the top. Now, I'm going to hand things over to my amazing co-host that you already know, who is Justyna J. And she's going to walk you through the platform and make sure you know everything you need to navigate the hackathon smoothly. Take it away, Jay.
Thanks, Joanna. And hi, everyone. Yes, I see that there's a few questions in the chat. Let's keep them for a little bit later for the workshop. We'll try to address as many of them as we can. But in this part, I'll walk you through the process of taking part in the hackathon. So those who already took part in our hackathons before, you can relax for a few minutes. You know what to do. But those who are here for the first time, I recommend you to listen carefully, because those steps that I will be talking about will help you to find the teams and submit your projects. All right. First of all, I would like you to meet our amazing mentor leads who will be assisting you throughout the whole hackathon. Can I get the presentation? Oh, yes, thank you. You can ask not only technical questions, but also those business related. So don't hesitate to ask them. They will be waiting for you in the dedicated Discord channels. And here on the slide, you can see their usernames. And now, how to take part in the hackathon. So first of all, you need to either join the team or create your own. You can, of course, make the project alone, but trust me, it's much more fun if you can share that experience with others. And when you already have a team, create your private Discord channel to be able to communicate. You can use different communication channels. It's all up to you. But remember that all the support that we provide during this hackathon is happening there, and it's easier to contact mentors. We recommend you to come up with 2-3 concepts for your application and then ask mentors for review, for feedback, and for the green lights to start with your project. From that moment, start building your prototype, cooperate with each other, deliver your tasks, And at the end of the hackathon, submit your product presentation and the solution on LabLab AI platform. Remember that the presentation is super important because it will basically form the first impression of your product on the judges. But also, if you'll decide to continue your project after the hackathon, it will be a great pitch presentation for your customers and future investors. If you want to read more about the whole process, go to our platform and you can find their LabLab AI guide that covers everything I just mentioned. And here is the QR code that will help you to find it. Okay, now I'm going to get a bit deeper into explaining some of the points, and I will share screens from the platform. Creating profile on LabLab AI and filling it up with your information is very important. First of all, because you might encounter some issues if you don't fill it up properly. For example, it's super important to connect your Discord to be able to communicate with others. And second of all, LabLab AI is a great networking space, and your profile is basically like your portfolio that will be visible for your future teammates, not only for this one, but for the future hackathons. So share your achievements, share your social media, and let people to get to know you better. After creating your account and enrolling to the hackathon, you will be able to create or join the team. To do that, press the button on the event page and you'll be transferred to your dashboard where you will be able to create a new team. But if you're looking for a team, just scroll down and you will see the list of teams that are currently looking for team members. But remember, to see this list, you first need to connect your Discord. If the team is looking for team members, use the chat window on the team page to communicate with them. You can introduce yourself and ask if you can join, or just press the button join the team, but then you will have to wait for the group leader's approval. If your team has already 2 or more team members, you will be able to communicate your own Discord channel that will become the main communication channel, not only for you, but it will also help mentors to communicate with your team. And on your team page, you will also see the toggle to call for help. If you'll use it, mentors will receive notification and will jump into your Discord channel as soon as they can. And talking about the mentors, they are available for you throughout the whole hackathon on the general LabLab Discord server. And use tag mentor to ask questions. And it's very important to use this tag because it will make it much easier for them to filter your queries. And there are many Discord channels that might be useful for you. And there are channels where you can ask for help. I'll look for important information. The ones that you can introduce yourself to the community, and many more. So I recommend you to check what's there because you'll definitely find something for yourself. All right. At the end of the hackathon, you will have to submit your project. And what we require from you is the product description, pitch presentation, and GitHub link with the demo. Remember that the presentation can't be longer than 5 minutes. And please make sure that your demo link is working, because if we'll be missing any of the deliverables, your project won't be eligible for evaluation. If you want to read more about the submission guidelines, just scan this QR code and you will see the article that describes everything what I just mentioned. Before the deadline, you will have to submit your project through the submission form using this button on the slide, and you will find it on your team page. And one more article worth mentioning. We prepared for you some tips on how to be successful at the hackathon. You'll find there 7 steps to crafting a winning business idea, from brainstorming to execution. And you can find it by scanning this QR code. Okay, that was it when it comes to the platform walkthrough. To make your life easier, I'm going to send all the links from the QR codes in the chat. And now it's time for the workshop by Emmanuel Iriarte, our AI architect. And this is your chance to ask any technical questions regarding Llama 3.2 technology as you want. So yeah, use that chance, and I will give the stage to Emmanuel. Hello, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, hi everyone. Before we jump into the workshop, I want to answer some of the questions that some people asked about the hackathon itself and some about the technology. So I think the first one says, how can we use Llama 3.2 for device or IoT? I use Llama 3.2 instruct, and it takes a lot of time on Mac device, sometimes creates memory issues. So it depends on the size of the model that you're using, right? Llama 3.2 has the lightweight models, which are 1 and 3 billion parameters, which are the ones that are meant to be used on devices, like on edge devices. So focus on that. 100% you can run those in a computer. You can even run them in Google Colab if for whatever reason you don't have the ability to run it locally, but I would advise you run it locally because the whole point of those models is that they're built to be lightweight. If I remember correctly, for the 1 billion model with integer for quantization, you need less than 1 gigabyte of VRAM to run it. So for the largest quantization will be 2.5 gigabytes, and for the 3 billion model, it goes between 6.5 gigabytes of VRAM and a little under 2 gigabytes. Of course, always aim to have a little bit more than that memory. If you have issues running it on your computer, you can always run it in Google Colab. Quick tip, I'm pretty sure everybody can run these models on device, but if not, you can always write a small API and run the model on Google Colab and then use that as your inference engine. But again, I really don't think anybody won't be able to use it. So what is underserved area? That's I don't think you have to worry too much about that. For the side quest, I'll explain a little bit more in a second. Somebody asked, do you want us to focus on the telecom sector or on the sector which get affected due to poor telecom? And let me see if there's any other questions related to that. 1 second. No, okay. So basically, let me explain real quick the side quest. So the side quest is building a solution that would help at any stage of the whole life cycle of network development. This is for other events that we will run with Giga, which is an initiative with UNICEF. The idea is to bring connectivity to every school. So let's not be very specific here. So the side quest is to develop something that could aid at any point in the whole life cycle of the network development. We're talking can be something for procurement, can be something for network optimization. There's really a lot of things you could do. So don't overthink it. The requirement there is not too strict. Of course, that's a side quest, and there's a little bit more information about the conditions and the specifics in the hackathon page. Sorry. So I'd recommend you check that out. So yeah, about let me share my screen real quick and let me show you an example of the API call, which actually I did not have. I just stole this real quick from what Sergey shared in the chat. So in here, in the chat, you'll find this Google Colab by Sergey, which shows an example of how to call AI/ML API. And also, if you go to their webpage, which I hope you can see, if you go to the model, you can see there the example on how to do the call. So that's very useful in my opinion. But yeah, it's fairly easy, fairly straightforward. I would the credits are quite enough for you to do whatever you want. But if for whatever reason you think your calls will be too demanding, you can always save the credits for larger models and try to run the smaller models on device. Of course, having just one API to call it's always more convenient. So it's up to you. Okay. Somebody's asking how to run locally on Flutter app using Llama CPP. Is it hard? It depends. I don't think I can answer that straight away because I'm not sure exactly what you're doing. You can always run Llama locally from the Transformers library, just creating a pipeline. There's few tutorials here that show how to do that. I'll get to that in a second. And I think that is it. Okay, is it required to use hardware? You use hardware for everything, right? Your computer is hardware. So I would say yes. I would be very surprised if you can do this without hardware. But if you're talking about any specific hardware, no, like there's no requirements there. Like it's up to what you have. So now, yes, let's jump to the quick workshop. This is going to be similar to last time. We're just going to talk a little bit about the models, what Llama Stack is, which is also very, very useful. Yeah, so let's get started. So Llama 3.2 was launched just 2 months after Llama 3.1. Okay, let me see if you can see it better. Yeah, no idea. It's full screen for me, so maybe. Okay, then I'll leave it like this, and then you just have to excuse the presentation. Actually, I can even zoom a little bit here. Yeah, there you go. Can I hide this too? I think I can hide this too. Awesome. There you go. So yes, I was saying Llama 3.2 was released just 2 months after Llama 3.1. It introduces multimodal capabilities, a future voice integration, lightweight models, which are the main focus of this hackathon. And of course, it's built on the solid foundation of Llama 3.1. And in my opinion, they're very complementary. They're not necessarily a substitution of each other. Rather, if you use both families of models, of course, I would go with the largest one from 3.1 and multimodal and lightweight from 3.2. You have a very, very like nice toolkit to build many applications. Yes, so like I said, Llama 3.2 introduces vision capabilities in the 11 billion and 90 billion models. So they're good for things like document level understanding, recognizing patterns, charts, graphs. The model can also pinpoint objects in even images based on just like natural descriptions, which again is like what we're familiar with in terms of vision models. The models are trained on a set of adapter weights, which feed image encoder representations into pre-trained language model. So let me explain this to you. Basically, they use the foundation of Llama 3.1 and they added these adapters. These consist on a series of cross-attention layers that feed the image representation into the language model. They train the adapters on image text pairs, and they updated the parameters of the image encoders, but intentionally didn't update the language model. What does this mean? This means that right now you can swap a Llama 3.1 model for a Llama 3.2 model with zero repercussion in the change of the architecture. It wouldn't behave different. It wouldn't have like worse performance, for example, because it was built in a way that it does not affect what they already had. It just introduces the ability to understand images. But I said that these adapters have something called cross-attention layers. A cross-attention layer is just that the model can see the image and it doesn't treat the image and the text as separate things. It sort of cross-references them in real time. So every piece of visual information can enhance the overall model understanding, and the text can do the same. And this is what enables like these contextually accurate outputs from the model. So it can simultaneously understand both text and images, which I know it's a little bit hard to fully wrap your head around the concept, but that's overall what it means. And that's what Llama 3.2 introduces in like this new models and new architecture. So yeah, I actually got ahead of myself. This is what I was just saying about the cross-attention layers. These are the benchmarks for the vision models. Again, 11 billion, 90 billion. In here we have a lot of, these are math benchmarks. Then we have image-based tasks, which is this second block here. General vision question answering, which is this VQA V2. Then we have text-based tasks here. We have also for math, for general purpose, for multilingual grade school. And it's compared to Claude 3 Haiku, which, if I remember correctly, is the smallest size of the Claude 3 family, and GPT-4o Mini. We can see that the 90 billion, which is not a small model necessarily, it's relatively small, outperforms in most of these benchmarks. I would say the only ones where it doesn't outperform is in this MMU, which stands for Mathematics Multi-Model Understanding. So GPT-4o takes the win there, and similarly in these grade school like math tasks also. But overall, we see great performance for the vision model in both image and text tasks. In here, there's a quick demo. Let me unzoom for you so you can see it. This you can find in Meta's page, like the release page for 3.2. So yeah, basically you can see the accurate description of the image and the different objects, how it detects them, which open the doors to a lot of potential applications that maybe before required some computer vision models. You can also introduce RAG, as you can see there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Wait 1 second. Okay, there you go. Okay, so yes, now let's move to the lightweight models, which, as I mentioned earlier, are the 1 billion and 3 billion, which are these are very small models. They're meant to focus on multilingual text generation and tool calling, so they're very good at this. Of course, they're for on-device applications, which means that they're very good for use cases that require privacy. This is fast and private and local processing. Of course, there's no cloud dependency, so this makes it that you don't have to rely on cloud, which of course gives you faster response times. You can use this for things like creating an AI assistant that can summarize your text messages, schedule meetings. I'd say that the biggest advantage here is privacy and the fact that information never leaves the device, which is a huge issue for a lot of startups that try to target, for example, government or very big enterprises where data privacy is a very, very big issue. Well, not issue, but concern. So that's one of the main advantage of a smaller model. So yes, let's take a look at these benchmarks. I'll have to zoom and I'll scroll around. So, as I mentioned before, lightweight models are exclusively for text. We have benchmarks like massive multitask language understanding. We have in here some tool use benchmarks, these two, math benchmarks and reasoning benchmarks, long context benchmarks, and multilingual benchmarks. So let's take a look at, I think between the 1 billion and the 3 billion, Llama 3.2 takes the win in almost all but 4 of these, yes. So 3.5 mini, which is a very good model, outperforms it in MMLU. Considering this is the largest model of the 4 being compared. Similarly, it takes the win in this math, grade school math benchmark, and reasoning from the HelaSwag benchmarks. But overall, we see very, very good performance. We see new state-of-the-art in many of these benchmarks. For example, if eval. So we see a relatively good jump in the scores, considering it's a smaller model. So yeah, if you want to take a deeper look, again, you can find this in the AI in Meta release page. So there's a lot of information there. But overall, from this, you can conclude that they are indeed good performant models independently of their size. So yes, there's 3 demos for for this group of models. So I would like to show you that real quick. In here we have one where you can see it's a phone running, and in here you can see what's happening under the hood. There's a Llama agent with an inference engine that's summarizing the text, extracts action items, it calls tools to create meeting, and then it adds it to the calendar in this iOS device. Then we have another here where it's for rewriting. I guess it sends it and it asks to rewrite the text. In here we can't see what's under the hood, but we can see the performance on this benchmark, and also like I would consider the speed of the generation, which is considerable. Remember, this is fully running on device, 100%, no larger GPU. This is a mobile writing assistant demo. I think this is based on a version of the models that has not been released, but still it lets you see like the potential of these models. So even though these are fairly simple use cases, the trend is to move AI to be native into many things. We're talking both products and devices. We've seen Google Pixel, we've seen with Apple Intelligence, and of course this is close like technology, and it's very practical for those who have had the chance to use it. So the ability to know that everybody can build this, like for example, I could see someone really crazy building a whole operative system that's fully AI native, and this is like these models empower you to do that. Of course, it might be still a little bit early to have something ridiculously good, but I would say this is already considerably good. So at least that's what I find most exciting about these lightweight models. So how did they created these lightweight models? Like how does this work? How do you make a model that's 1 billion, 3 billion, and why would you do that, right? So they use 2 techniques, which is called pruning and knowledge destination. So pruning is basically a method where we reduce the size of a model by removing unnecessary parts, and we try to keep its performance as it was. And distillation is a smaller model learns from a larger model, so more complex model, and it tries to mimic its outputs, which helps the smaller model to perform well without needing as many parameters. Again, why does this matter? Because it allows everybody to create small models that run efficiently while keeping the high performance. So again, I stole this graph from the release page, and it basically explains the pruning and distillation. I'm going to walk you through it real quick. So you have the pre-trained models, which are the 8 billion and 70 billion from 3.1. And these models already were trained using massive amounts of text data, and this is represented by the pre-training data mix. Then you have the logic data, which is the raw output prediction from the large models. So they capture this and they put it into this data, and this is important because this is what is used to guide the smaller models to learn from them. So essentially the larger models act as teachers and show the smaller models how to behave by providing these logics. Then there's this pruning-based initialization. To create the smaller models, they use pruning, which is, like I mentioned, systematically removing parts of the 8 billion and 70 billion models that are less important, while keeping the key parts to retain performance. Then we have the fine-tuning data and the instruct models. So once the models have been pruned, they are fine-tuned using collected data sets that are specifics to the tasks that they will handle. For example, summarization, image captioning, which I think is key, and this is something that you can still do. So to get the most juice out of these models for a specific use case, you would need to fine-tune them. They're already very good. You can make them excellent, better than models like GPT-4o at a specific task, let's say summarization. I'm pretty sure with the right data set, I can make a 3 billion model outperform GPT-4o in summarization, exclusively in summarization. Of course, it's not going to be better overall, but that's one of the like strongest points of a small model. And I've been talking about this since forever. But yeah, so after they fine tune, they become instruct models, which mean they're optimized to follow instructions, which is how we use language models. And then there's this synthetic data and inference stack. So this is during the distillation model synthetic data, which in this case comes from the 405 billion models, helps improve the abilities of the models to in specialized tasks, which is something that you can do right now. And actually is part of the challenge. The whole idea is that you do something like what they did here. You leverage larger models like the 405B. My ideal combination would be 405 billion from 3.1, 11 billion from 3.2, and 1 or 3 billion from 3.2. With those three models, you can do really a lot of damage, if you want to say it like that. Yeah, so that's how they created these models. I'm going to take a pause here, and I'm going to look at the chat because I haven't seen it in like forever. Okay, so there's a few questions still talking about the telecom, which I'll save for the end. Is there any tutorials that tells how pruning is done? No, because pruning it's a little bit more intensive process. I mean, you can do it simpler, but it beats the whole goal. Like, what you don't need to prune a model right now because it was already pruned. That's why you have the 1 billion and the 3 billion models. It would be like you trying to create a model that outperforms the ones that were developed by Meta with virtually unlimited resources. What you can do is you can grab that and you can improve it. So you can use the 1 billion and 3 billion models, fine-tune them for something, which, yes, there's a few tutorials about that, and I'll show you in a second. And then you can do something from there. True, improving. Okay, no, the rest of these are about the telecom part. So I'll save that for a second. For the end, sorry, we're almost done here. So last two things is Llama Stack, which is essentially is a development tool that helps developers customize Llama models. It provides a standardized interface, API, and it basically simplifies building agentic applications. It supports development on cloud services, on premise servers, and on device distributions. So it is pretty flexible for all kinds of development environments. Again, this is basically a tool for fine-tuning synthetic data generation, integration with multimodal application, and they have a very nice multi-node distribution support, which makes you able to run the Llama models across platforms like AWS, Databricks, on mobile devices. I think they partnered with Qualcomm and MediaTek chips, so you can run it on those. And of course, it has a command line interface, so developers can easily interact with the models using these command line tools. Last part of the day is system level safety from Llama Guard. So basically, Llama Guard is an advanced feature introduced with 3.2, and it's meant to filter inappropriate inputs and ensure that models produce image text responses that are not harmful or have offensive content. So they released Llama 3.11b Vision, which is designed to support the new understanding capabilities from 3.2. And they also release Llama Guard 1 billion, which is meant to support Llama 3.2, 1 billion, and 3 billion, again, with the goal of using safety mechanisms to avoid inappropriate outputs. So yes, that's the main overview for today's workshop. I'm going to show you the tutorials real quick, and then I'm going to answer the questions about the telecom part. So we have a bunch of tutorials. We prepare a few tutorials for this for 3.2. For example, you have building a multimodal edge application with Llama 3.2 and Llama Guard. And in here you have how to use, for example, directly from the Transformers library. there's a lot in these tutorials to unpack, so I would recommend you to check it out. We have this one, creating an AI-powered cooking assistant with Llama 3.2 Vision. The goal of this one is to show you how to use the vision capabilities. Again, you can recycle. For this one, they were using the Grok client just for showcasing a quick development environment. We have other applications, other tutorials, sorry. For example, this uses Llama 3.1 for multilingual translations, and in this one they use the 405 billion, and you can also see how to use AI ML API in a real application, so you can also check this out. And there's many other tutorials. Actually, let me see if I can find one real quick. I think it should be somewhere here. Okay, yes. You have, for example, how to fine tune. This is Tiny Llama, but the process is the same. You have a tutorial about creating synthetic data. We have one about efficient fine tuning a small model as well. So I think this is the one that's closest to what somebody was asking for pruning. Basically, this one was fine tuning, but they created synthetic data using the 405 billion, and they trained the Llama 3.18 billion. But again, the process is the same, so you can easily swap models if you want to use a different source of synthetic data, which I would not advise, or a different model to train, which that's of course definitely a good idea. So yeah, definitely everybody should check out, take a few minutes to see what tutorials are out there, because you can do a lot very quick if you use the resources that are already there. So yes, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and I'm gonna answer the questions about the hackathon and the side quest. So we're still missing out on the challenge that's needed. So that was explained at the beginning. Basically, the challenge is to build a solution that runs on edge devices. There's a side quest that if your solution is part of or help somehow in the life cycle of the development of networks, then you can win the side quest prizes, which you can check on the page. We are not able to understand that how implemented in the telecom sector because that needs hardware. So yes and no. You don't need hardware to create a solution that targets the telecom sector. So there's two quick things to do. The side quest is not mandatory. Of course, you can choose to pursue that track, but you don't need hardware to improve telecom itself, because again, I think you're thinking it the wrong way. It's not just the telecom part, it's not the going and physically putting down the infrastructure. Is anything that helps, a chatbot that has RAG that helps you understand the requirements of specific areas. I don't know, and you can load it with information that's useful for a company that they are a telecom company, right? That's a very, very basic example. Has nothing to do with hardware itself, and it's still part of that process. So think it from the very, very top. And there's also a lot of technology out there, open source technology, that can be optimized, or AI could aid it in something. So if you think about something that needs hardware, then that's not the type of solution we're talking about. So yeah, I know it's a little bit hard to fully understand the scope of it, but yeah, I think that's the best I can explain. If there's specific questions, I can try to answer them. Let me see if there's anything else. Improving telecom infra itself, we need hardware. Please clarify if we need to enable apps to run better on underserved telecom areas, or improving the telecom is what you need concretely. So again, we don't want to improve telecom itself. We want to build applications or solutions that aid the network development process. I already answered the hardware one. So again, no specific hardware, no IoT devices, nothing like that. That's just for the smaller models. You can build whatever you want from there. Llama Guard 3.1b is considered a separate model from Llama 3.2 1b text instruct. Yeah, that's definitely a different model. So it does count towards the multiple model requirement. Can we create a web app instead of a mobile app? So the target is that it's meant for edge devices. So no. I think if your web app helps, like if you are building the web app and supporting the telecom lifecycle network development track, then you could qualify for that side quest, but you would not qualify for the main prizes. Because again, the whole point is an edge runner's hack. So it's sort of in the name, it needs to be for mobile or smaller like devices. You can create it. You can create a demo of an application that would run on a device. You don't have to necessarily run it on the device right now, but it needs to be built for that. Can we run Transformers library on mobile app? I'm not sure if I understand the question. You can run the Transformers library on a computer and then create a mobile app. You can do that for sure. By using edge devices, probably with installing the model on an edge device, how do you provide a demo link? So there's a few ways to do that. If, again, like you could, for example, just create the application in a way that it is meant for edge devices, but you can create a cloud demo. Or if you did it fully on the device, you can always like upload, let's say, a screen recording and add a like drive link to the demo URL. I'm pretty sure I'm not a app developer or like mobile developer, so I'm not super sure what like tools you have at your disposal, but I'm pretty sure there's some way where you can host, it simulates the phone, but it's hosted on the web. So we cannot use APIs for using Llama models. We have to run them locally or on edge devices. So I'm gonna read really quick the description of the hack because that would answer a lot of these questions. Yeah, here it is. So I'm going to read it and then I'm going to explain a little bit more. It says, your task is to develop a solution optimized to run on edge devices, leveraging lightweight models such as Llama 3.21 billion or 3 billion for real-time operations on mobiles or IoT platforms. However, you have two options to incorporate larger models in the process. A, network enhanced features. You can integrate network features into your solution that allows you to tap into larger models, such as Llama 3.1405 billion, 3.2 multimodal models, running on external servers. These can be used for advanced tasks like complex data analysis or multimodal processing, adding powerful AI capabilities without overloading the edge devices. But this is a feature of your project. It's still meant to have a main functionality made for edge devices. And option B is development optimization. Alternatively, during development, you can use larger models for purpose like synthetic data generation, labeling data with vision models, and this approach allows you to train or fine-tune smaller models for your final solution, ensuring that the end product runs entirely on edge devices while benefiting from the advanced capabilities of larger models during its creation. The final goal is to produce an edge-ready solution that intelligently combines local performance with optimal power of larger models via network or development stage optimization. So I think that statement is pretty clear on its own, but let me know if there's any questions. Yeah, of course, not the training. I don't think you can train a model on the edge. Just the final application is meant to be run on edge devices. So do we need to make sure user can use it offline? Yes. I mean, of course, like I said, if you added a functionality that uses an API to use a larger model for a very specific feature, then that would be not available while it's offline. But the whole point of it being an on-device model is that you can use it independently if you have like network connection or not. How do you provide them a link? There needs to see IoT as well then. Like I said, if your very specific application you can't provide a live link, you can always record a video, try to edit it in a way that you can see everything that you need to see, like the screen and the IoT device. You can upload it to Drive and you can use that link as your demo link. That's acceptable if the situation requires it, of course. I'm also confused about this. Mobile devices use different language. One solution is to create bridge between native language. Secondly, edge devices do not have a lot of memory and storage. A web application can also run on edge devices when hosted. Will that be acceptable? So I will read the last sentence because I would say that's the most accurate statement that will tell you if it's acceptable or not. And it's that the final goal is to produce an edge-ready solution that combines local performance with larger models. So it's like I try to explain if your solution, because I don't know what you're building, so it's hard to judge like just from a web application. If you feel your solution fits this criteria, go for it. If you're not sure, I would recommend try to adjust so you can ensure you're like eligible. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, about the side quests, it says basically, I'm just gonna read the sentence one time so help clarify some doubts. The focus can range from optimizing administrative processes and regulatory compliance to enhancing network operations and improving the entire life cycle of bringing connectivity to underserved areas. Bringing connectivity, not building the connectivity. Okay. Again, there's a quite a very nicely written text there that will help like answer your questions. So I would go check it. Can I share some examples? No, I don't have some examples like right now to show. You can check though the Edge Runners, the previous version of or Edge Runners hackathons. There are some of them that did follow the instruction of making an Edge solution. Just check for that because some people didn't, so they weren't considered for the prices. But you can check. I think we had 2 previous editions of Edge Runners. Using Node.js lets you install a mobile application. Will that be acceptable? Like I think so. I mean, again, I don't want to say something that might not be true because I have very little context. But it sounds to me that yes. And they asked me to go over the telecommunication project requirement again, so I'm gonna do that one last time, and then you can just rewatch the stream. I'm gonna read the whole thing, so there's no doubts. I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can, and then we move on. So the side quest, AI power solution for the telecommunication industry in underserved areas. You can ignore the in underserved areas right now. Okay, we actually might remove it to avoid confusions. It says your mission should just chose to accept it is to build an innovative AI powered tool that can transform the telecommunications industry. The focus can range from optimizing administrative processes and regulatory compliance to enhancing network operations and improving the entire life cycle of bringing, keyword here, connectivity to underserved areas. Okay, there's a few like things that you need to note for the solution, but it's anything that would aid, help, not solve or like completely change this whole process. Like again, it can be something administrative and from the top of my mind, a RAG application that knows all the requirements for, I don't know, you can choose a selection of countries. To something that's very niche into telecom technology and you're like optimizing how, I don't know, distribution of network in a server. I have no idea. I don't work with telecom, so that's just a wild guess there. So I hope that was as clear as I could make it. So I hope it helped. Where are we making the presentation submissions once we're done? So actually, I'm gonna leave that for our hosts because you heard my voice already for a while. So back to you, girls. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was great. And I hope all the questions in the chat have been answered. If not, feel free to always reach out to us on Discord server and we're always there for you to answer anything that causes your doubts. And before we dive back into the action, do not forget to follow us on social media to stay updated on everything. We're constantly sharing exciting news, tutorials, upcoming hackathons, and much more across all of our platforms. You'll find us on LinkedIn, X, Instagram, Discord, Facebook, and TikTok. So just search for lablab.ai and hit that follow button. Stay connected and be the first to know about new challenges, opportunities, and the latest AI trends. Plus, it's a great way to connect with the LabLab community from all around the world. So grab your phone, give us a follow, and let's build this incredible world together. And as the last part, I would like to talk a bit about what is coming up next. We've got a lot of exciting upcoming hackathons that you do not like to miss. And internally, we've called October Hacktober, but we've also get a busy November and December. So whether you're looking for another challenge to push your skills further or just cannot get enough of the LabLab experience, we've got you covered. And here is what is on the horizon. Firstly, we've got a Giga Hackathon, which actually will not be just one hackathon, so stay tuned for the news. This is our collaboration with Giga that is happening very soon. You'll be able to work on AI solutions with a global impact and help solve important humanitarian challenges. Next up, we've got the ARIA Multimodal Hackathon that just has been announced, so you can already register for that on our website. And you can check the latest posts on our socials to check the details of the challenge. It's happening on November 1st to 3rd, and you could build cutting-edge apps using Rhymes AI's new ARIA model. You can be one of the 10 teams to get exclusive access to the ARIA API and compete for $5,000 in prizes to unleash your creativity with multimodal AI. Next up, we've got the Llama Impact Hackathon, which is happening between 9th and 11th of November. And it's going to be hybrid. So on-site part will happen in San Francisco. So if you're from the US, you're more than welcome to join us, or you can join online from any part of the world. You could use Llama 3.2 models to tackle real-world problems, get mentorship, you can work solo or in teams, and you could compete for a $15,000 prize pool. So join us in San Francisco for a really unforgettable experience. And next up, the even more exciting hackathon, which I'm personally really excited about, which is the Lokahi Healthcare Hackathon, happening from December 7th to 9th. And you could transform healthcare in Hawaii through AI. You can compete on-site in Honolulu or online, working solo or in teams to create impactful healthcare solutions. We've got really amazing prizes for you to grab, so I really recommend to join us and actually recommend going to Honolulu with us all. So be sure to check our website for more details. All these hackathons besides Giga are already up on site. You can register for them already and you'll get to know all the details. So get ready to innovate with us. And I hope all of you are ready for the challenge. And that's a wrap for today's kickoff. So thank you, everyone. We are really beyond excited to see what you create during the EdRunners 3.2 Hackathon. And remember that this is your chance to push the limits of AI and show the world what you're capable of. So do not forget to stay active on the platform and join us on Discord. If you have any questions or need support, we're always here to help. Be sure to follow us. And thanks for being the part of this hackathon. Now it's just time to build, innovate, and round those edges. Good luck, everyone, and see you soon.